Hey guys, Super Console Final Wars here, and today I am back once again with another video. Today I'm going to be doing a ranking of, well, basically the Jurassic Park / World villains. Basically I'm going to be ranking on who is the best Jurassic villain, or who is the best villain in the Jurassic franchise, and who is the worst. And I'm not going to be including human villains, no. The humans are not the main focus. Human villains are not the main focus. In fact, I actually don't really care about the human villains, honestly. There are some decent ones, but there are some pretty bad ones. I wouldn't say any of them are, like, the best, in my opinion. So, yeah. But today we're going to be talking about dinosaur villains. Who is the best main antagonist of their own respective movies and, well, yeah. So, without further ado, let's begin. So the first dinosaur villain that we have on our today's list is the big one. The big one in Jurassic Park was a pretty damn terrifying villain, honestly. Watching her and seeing her how the way she acts and how the way she coordinates her attacks and how the way she just likes to bring fear upon her victims was just truly a sight to see. Just watching how the big one just work, how she acts and how the way she behaves. She truly behaves as a different kind of animal. And honestly, I think she is probably one of the best villains in this movie. Like, in Jurassic Park, she is a pretty damn good villain. The raptors in general in Jurassic Park were pretty terrifying villains, honestly. Like, if you just go back and watch Jurassic Park, you can actually feel the fear of just watching these raptors in action and just seeing how the way they're just so relentless towards killing their prey and their victims. And honestly, I would say they are a pretty damn good villain. In Jurassic Park. So I would say, hey, the big one and the raptors in Jurassic Park, and you know what, just for the hell of it, even though they didn't make that much of an appearance in the Lost World movie, I'll go ahead and include the raptors from the Lost World movie, even if they weren't the main dinosaur antagonist. I'm just going to go ahead and include them anyways, because they were pretty good in their own respective movie as well. So both the Nublar raptors and the Ethel-Sorna raptors are pretty, well, and the Lost World raptors are pretty damn good villains, in my opinion. I already mentioned in the Ethel-Sorna, well, the Lost World raptors, so we'll go ahead and move on to the Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus is our second big main villain for Jurassic Park 3. Sorry about that. In Jurassic Park 3, we are introduced to the Spinosaurus, and it's a pretty okay. It's actually a pretty good villain, honestly. Not as great as the big one, but it's great enough where, but it's good enough where he's actually a decent villain, honestly. He's not a perfect villain, but he's not a bad villain either. If anything, he's a lot better than Zeb, honestly. Shown in both Camp Cretaceous and, well, of course, Jurassic Park 3, the Spino has been shown to be a very ruthless and a very intimidating villain. And it is by far the most iconic Spinosaurus design in history, honestly. And its roars are iconic until Camp Cretaceous season 4 and 5 had to ruin it. Like seriously, Jurassic World Evolution remembered the sounds that the Spinosaurus had. How come they forgot about the sounds that it had in the third freaking movie? And, anyways, seeing how the way this guy pursued the main heroes in the movie is actually pretty terrifying to watch, honestly. And honestly, he's just a pretty damn good villain, honestly. Just how the way he pursued his victims and how the way he kills was actually pretty terrifying. So overall, well, he is a good villain, honestly. If I had a tier list or something, I would put the Isla Nublar Raptors and Isla Sorna Raptors as great villains. And I would put the Spinosaurus in the A tier or something as a good villain. Sorry about that, anyways. Moving on to our third big bad villain. The Indominus Rex. And already, the Indominus Rex basically surpasses the Spino in every way possible, and it's mostly due to because of its sick, twisted personality. It's because of her personality is what makes her, well, just different from any other dinosaur villain. Just seeing how the way she kills her prey and kills for sport, and just seeing Indominus Rex in action is just overall amazing. Within a way, I actually kind of prefer the Indominus Rex over the Spinosaurus of being a great villain for another installment of a Jurassic movie. Like, if you were to get me in a room and ask me which Jurassic villain for the next installment of a Jurassic movie do I prefer? Do I prefer the Spinosaurus or do I prefer the Indominus Rex? I want to say the Indominus Rex because of its personality and its rough backstory and how the way it kills its victims. I mean, think about it. If we really think about it, we don't know a whole lot about the Spinosaurus' backstory, honestly. We don't know where he came. Like, we don't know why he hates humans so much. We don't know anything about him or why he is killing other apex predators. But the Indominus Rex, we actually got a pretty good backstory for the Indominus Rex, honestly. Just seeing her out of the way she was being kept in a cage for almost her whole life, and just seeing her, how the way she was managed to outsmart humans in ways that I don't think anyone could imagine. And of course, let's not forget about its ability to communicate with raptors. Its ability to communicate with raptors is what gave it a somewhat an advantage over the Spinosaurus, honestly. The Indominus Rex was managed to use other creatures that it can communicate with for its own personal agenda or something like that. The Indominus Rex used Blue, Charlie, Echo, and Delta for her own gain. She just wanted to use them to kill humans for her. And she was like a big, major dinosaur that truly gave Raxi one hell of a beating, honestly. So I would say I'll put the Indominus Rex as a great villain with the Jurassic Park and Lost World Raptors. Moving on to the next dinosaur, we have the Scorpius Rex. The Scorpius Rex is, the first hybrid dinosaur in the Jurassic franchise. He's not a very handsome-looking dinosaur, let's just say. He's actually pretty damn ugly. But what he lacks in appearance, he makes up for it with his, personality. His, overall way, the way he was, killing dinosaurs and pursuing our heroes. It's just so amazing, honestly. Within a way, I imagine the Indoraptor to be like this when Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was coming out, but he wasn't. I guess he kind of was, but we'll get into him in a little bit. But yeah, Scorpius Rex, despite not having a very, handsome appearance, he is a pretty damn intimidating dino villain to watch on screen. Every time I watch the Scorpius Rex on screen, I just get chills when just watching this guy. Just every time I'm watching this guy and seeing him in action, was just overall amazing. However, there's one thing that he fails at. That being him getting distracted by fire. That's the one thing I kind of have a problem with the Scorpius Rex. Being a very intimidating villain, he just fails at one thing, and that's being distracted by fire. If this guy was real, and you've watched Camp Cretaceous, the only real thing on how you can truly distract this guy is with fire, and that's just basically it.